Hello, and welcome back to the ministry. This is Taj McCameron, and today we are talking about the Lord brought my revelation to something, and it's a duality. I was looking at my show again last night. I be trying not to watch the show, but for some reason, the Lord be bringing me back to it. And every time He bring me back to it, He bring me another revelation that is like that much more broader and that much more bigger. So I'm like, okay. So I'm here again, and we talking about some more kingdom marriage stuff. Enjoy the intermission on our kingdom marriage stuff, okay? Because I have another word where we're going to be talking about the 4 horsemen and the seals. So that's coming. I don't know when it's coming, but we're going to allow that to transpire as the Lord leads. But with this, the Lord showed me this. When it comes down to your kingdom spouse, when you came into the picture, whether it was spiritually or physically, you opened their mind to God in a different way. They saw the world in a different capacity. For them, it was the black and white of whatever and wherever they were at the time in which they were doing what they were doing. And with that, brought about a level of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not confusion, but it started to test their environment. It was like, I said this in a word previously, way back, a couple of months ago, where I was talking about, it was like the Lord hit them with a eureka, and they started to see that everything around them was tainted by the enemy. And it was like, oh my God, all of this is not of God. How in the world am I going to get out of this? Oh my God, you brought that kind of realization to them in coming into understanding of you. It's not that you're meant to, it's not that you're all that kind of stuff. It's the fact that when God was using you, when this person started to see you for who you are, and this person became nervous because you had the ability to shake their entire world up. And the fact of the matter is, due to the fact that they already noticed you, at the point in time in which they noticed you and the Lord allotted them to connect with you to any capacity, it was a countdown clock to the reality in which they were in, dispersing, demising, dismantling, falling apart. Because now the Lord has said, that's what I want you to get, and I'm going to give you a minute to figure it out for yourself. But then once my time is up for that, I'm going to dismantle. This is what we've been talking about. You go back and look at the kingdom marriage words that we've been talking about. This is what God has been doing. And you started to get them to question things. And it wasn't so much that it was intent. You invited them. And it made them more and more nervous, more and more nervous. I keep getting, it's about 5 things that the Lord has been showing me in relation to kingdom marriage that is showing me about nervousness. I saw 3 videos by Stephanie P that was talking about they understand your gift now, and the fact that, oh my God, this is what she sees, she can understand, she's discerning, so on and so forth. And they love every element about you. They're fully smitten with you. But the thought of approaching you, this morning I looked up the number 334 because it kept coming up to me, and it said shut up, bound, restricted, Yeah, shut up, bound, and restricted. They are nervous to the point that they're shut up. They're nervous to the point that they don't know how to speak in relation to it. And they're like, literally, like, I know I need to say something. I know what I need to do. And it's not even the fact anymore that anything else is blocking the situation. It's just that they're nervous. Their nerves have gotten the better of them, and they don't know what to do about it. Point blank to the period. And because of it, I'm getting reminded over and over again of a movie when I was a kid. Goofy movie. And when the young man which was Goofy's son, kept trying to interact with this girl, every time he was going to interact with her, it's like he couldn't do it. He couldn't figure out how. It's like she came into his purview and he was like, oh my God, I don't know what to say. And she's standing there like, and she got her little coy little look about herself like, please say something. I want you to say something. But it's like, he's like, the whole movie, every time they interacted, he didn't know what to say. And the same way with this man in this TV series, that when he was trying to engage conversation with the main character in my show, it was like she's standing there like, hey, how you doing? And he's like, hi. And her best friend was at the party that they were at, and then you come back and see him sitting next to her best friend who's sulking because her boyfriend had left her, and he's sitting there like, I can't believe I ruined that. And she was like, at least you didn't throw up on her. I mean, because he had to run because he was that nervous. These men are nervous, and I don't even think it's so much the fact that they're nervous because of the interaction that they have with you. Bringing you into this picture, which I saw last night in the episode, means they gotta let go of something. For real, for real. And it's one of those types of things, just like when a person has to let go of a relationship, which they had to do. They had to let go of all the counterfeit relationships, counterfeit deals, counterfeit things in their life. They had to let them go. And when they had to let those things go, it left an opening and an open door for there to be a level of confusion on their part. They're kind of like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And they don't know how to function without the reality that they've previously had. And this new thing is so new, it's like a dark hole that they're like, I don't walk that way. I don't walk that way. That's too dark. I can't see. I'm trusting you, God, but and you're saying I gotta go with her. And it's opening up doors. And you're the one, because in one of the previous episodes, she was the one that went back in there for him. She kept going back for him. Every time something happened, and he ended up held up by these people, which were governing bodies and governing power. Some of your spouses are in industries that have a governing authority over them. Some of y'all are called to influencers, celebrities, NBA, football, community leaders, politics, government, people. They have governing authorities, and you a threat. And even that makes them nervous. Because they're like, oh, she can see too many things. Oh my God, I don't even know if I want to bring her in this because, oh my God. Yeah. But there is a level of nervousness that they have, and with them having this, they have things going on. There are people that the devil done positioned in their life in order to make what the Lord is showing them to do harder, to delay them, deter them, derail them, obstruct them. These people are obsessed because they are filled with tormenting spirits that are desiring to prevent. It's like the enemy has sent them with a satanic agenda to try and stop them from doing what God wants. But let me tell you something right here, right now. God will take them out before he lets them stop what he's about to do. He'll let them play their game for a while. Even Job was allowed to have a whole bunch of stuff taken away from him. But when God said he was ready and he was done with Satan playing his game, what did God do? Oh, let me restore you. I'm going to restore everything back. You're going to get double everything you lost. So they may be nervous, but the Lord is in that phase right now that he done is stripping. And I've been seeing the word. What number sequence did I see? I saw, I can't remember what the number sequence was, but the number that I saw meant stripped. This person was being stripped. So there's a stripping going on. Not only of what the enemy thinks that he's doing in order to stop the plans of God in relation to your relationship and marriage and situation, but it's a stripping because God's saying, I'm about to strip them, and I'm stripping. He's stripped everything that was not of God out of your God-ordained spouse's life. And right now he's been in the corner licking his wounds to make sure that he's in the right state before he comes to you. That's where he's been at. But in coming into contact with you, it's been a level of dismantling. There's been hurt. There's been pain. There's been thorns in their side. Because I'm remembering the point in time when the guy got stabbed in the side. Paul said what in the word? That I know that you have this thorn in your side, but I'm going to pray that you have faith to continue to operate with it. Yes? Faith. But I'm not going to remove it. And they have to make the decisions of what they need to do. They're going through ego death, pride death, all of this kind of stuff in order to make the right decisions. They know what they need to do. They just haven't said it verbally yet. And with that ego death and pride death, they are experiencing a transformation. And with that transformation, they are coming out of their belief systems. They're coming out of walking in those types of things. They're coming out. They had to walk away, turn their backs on things that they thought was right in their industries, their places, their positions. They had to turn their backs. And in them turning their backs, they had to separate themselves. Maybe it was for a season and some is for a lifetime. And I'm going to get into that in my next part of this word. But they have to separate themselves. And in the separation, they are deciphering what their belief system is. What they were told that industry was, what they knew that place was, and what God is showing them. And they're in a state of a bit of a confusion. So they had to go into a level of solitude. Do you not remember that you had to go into a level of solitude when God started to strip you of your beliefs, your situations, your circumstances, the life that you were in, and he had to get you to follow him? These people are having to do a redo. Some of them were following God way back. But just how Satan operates, you know how Satan operates. He slowly, over time, seeps in through the cracks and crevices in the places and the spaces that you least recognize him. And the next time you look up, you thought you was following him because you still praying every day. You still speaking to God every day. You still seeking God, but you became lukewarm in your seek. And because of that, they've been speaking God, but they ain't been walking God. And God had to bring them to a point where I got to separate you, but you got to follow me, and then you're going to have to follow her. So, and they're in a state of division. They're divided in thought process. But with that comes a point that they may go back, and they may come back, and they may go back. Because this guy, he went back and forth a couple of times, kept going back into the group that he was involved in. He came out, he went back in, came back out. Some of your goddamn spouses, the industries that they're called to, they're going to still have to go back in there. It's not to say that they're not going to be in the industries that they've been in. It's just to say that, yeah, that was where they were, but when they go back, they're going in with God. They're going to spend a time just like you had to spend, just like the woman that had given birth, she had to spend her 1,260 days in the wilderness. They had to go into their wilderness too. They didn't have to spend 1,260 days and then go back in the wilderness a second time and all that kind of stuff. God's doing it in one swoop. But as he did it, because they move faster, it's like you was the tortoise doing your 1,260 days and they would have hared, meaning theirs was condensed. That's why they went through their process towards the end of the season where you had to spend 2, 3, 5, 7, 10 years. They got theirs done in a year and a half. And you kind of looking at God like, how come they got theirs done in a year and a half and it only took? Because they knew when it was time to let go, they would let go immediately. What happened in the episode last night, she had to go in and get him one more time. And when she was not only getting him, she was getting somebody else. And when she went in to get him, he said, I can't come back after this. And she looking at him like, we got to get out of here and your point. For some of us, we've been sitting up there like, dude, God's telling you, come run up this mountain. Lot, it's time to go. And it's like, but if I go, I can't come. No, you can't come back. God's going to destroy the city. And you didn't know that this was a thing that was occurring. So, God kind of has you in that place. He kind of has them in that place. And they're like, oh, wow, this is really the end of this. And then they say it out loud and they're like, really, I just wanted to say it out loud. Yeah, okay, come on, let's go. In a way that you've been spiritually delivering them, they will be the physical deliverer for you. That's a word all by itself. So with that being said, there are choices that are going to need to be made. And they have to make them. And they're in a state of decision right now. And they're nervous because they know the decision they are about to make is a permanent one. They're between themselves and two other opinions. But they know that in following God, you must let go of mother, father, sister, brother, and follow him. Meaning the direction that he said. It's like, it don't matter the other two issues that you got. They gonna take care of themselves. I'm gonna make sure that's taken care of. What instruction did I give you? Okay. What are you gonna do? Just like I said in that word that I talked about, the song, A Woman's Work. They gotta make the decision. They're in between two decisions. They gonna make the right one. And we as the Kingdom Wives are going to pray them through that phase. But they know what they got to do. There's nothing else in the way. You've done all that you can do, and so have they. Now it's just a move. What's the decision? So I'm going to end this word here, and I'm going to come back because I got another part in relation to something the Lord showed me about the counterfeit again. Okay, I'll be back. Hold on. Bye-bye.